Hi, my name is Emma Sargent and I'm a technical vet with MSD Animal Health. We're here today on Albert Murphy's farm in County Longford. Albert, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and your farm here?
Hi Emma, I'm Albert Murphy from Sorenbannalee. I'm running a Suckler herd with a farm size of about 90 acres. Calving system that I'd have going on would be 25 calved in the springtime, and then in the autumn time I'd be calving maybe the rest of them around 15. I have my own stock bull, Charlie bull, I run with the cows, and then I'd AI about 6 or 7% of them.
And then just in terms of your animal health in the past, you mentioned you come up against some issues, particularly with pneumonia. What were you noticing?
Yeah, about 3 years back, when you'd wean your calves in the back end of the year, or when animals start being housing, maybe a fortnight into it, you'd be a bit of coughing would start, and you'd be pneumonia start to happen. And just in one particular case, I got a good weanling with, maybe 350 kilo, and he got pneumonia and didn't get him over, and he died.
And other animals affected, you were ending up having to treat those at the time as well?
Yeah, I kind of had to treat more or less everything then for pneumonia, and inject calves and different ones catching it, and it was a bit of a heartbreak bit of a headache for.
I can imagine, and a lot of work for you as
yeah.
well. And so what made you decide to go down the route of vaccination?
Well, I was having coughing and problems in the shed and about 3 years ago, and I said there has to be a different way, than constantly going to the vets, getting antibiotics and getting different medicines and getting vets out. And then I said I'd go to the vet, have a chat, and I went to my local vets in Longford, Longford Animal Health, and I talked to the vet there, Harry Ferguson, and he said you need to be vaccinating and get your programme right, and he recommended Bovilis Bovipass.
In terms of using the Bovipass, how does that fit into your system?
You'd be looking to start around September to give your first shot of vaccinations, because you'd be like to be having the second one in them. You're starting to house cattle from the end of October into November on, depending on weather or whatever, but once to have the second shot in them going into the shed, it seems to work for me.
Super, so getting that full primary course of vaccination completed at least 2 weeks before housing, so that your animals are fully protected when they're coming to that stressful period.
Yeah, when I start weaning calves and the stress comes on them, I think you need to have the animal vaccinated.
The nice thing, I suppose, with that Bovilis Bovipass RSP is that you're getting broad protection against viral causes of pneumonia, RSV and PI3, as well as bacterial cover with protection against Mannheimia hemolytica. That's one of the causes of Pasteurella pneumonia as well. So just nice to have that comprehensive protection. And you mentioned that you do calve a few down in autumn times. What do you reach for your autumn-born calves?
Yeah, the autumn-born calves that I'd have calving, I normally get the Bovilis nasal one and give them the shot up the nose.
Yeah, super. That's the Bovilis intranasal RSP Live. Yeah, so that's nice. Viral protection against RSV and PI3 as well. Unique claim that you can give it from the day of birth, so you can get in nice and early with those calves, and then you have protection 7 days after vaccinations. So what differences have you noticed since you started implementing your vaccination programme?
The animals seemed to be healthier when they were vaccinated in time. The calves were thriving better, and it just, all round it took off a lot of stress off me. You have enough to do without trying to go to start injecting animals coughing. And
I can imagine then reduced antibiotic usage and reduced treatment costs come into play then as well.
Yeah. Overall, it works out an awful lot cheaper in the long run, because you're giving antibiotics and you're injecting, then you have reoccurring cases and all that, definitely.
And so, Albert, what advice would you have for other farmers who might have had issues with pneumonia in the past and are considering vaccination?
The first thing you need to do is really go to your vet and work out a plan. Start in time vaccinating, before a high risk period, because once you start weaning, it's nearly too late to start. And in general, they say prevention is really better than cure.
We're coming into autumn now. That can be a high risk period for a disease because you're having stressful events like weaning and housing taking place. How do you prepare in advance of those stressful events to minimise the chance of disease occurrence?
Well, when I'm coming up to weaning period times, I like to have about 2 weeks prior to weaning have me second shot given to the weanlings. That's probably the key point. and have meal feeding starting and keeping them, that they're going to have less stress when they go in. The meal feeding want to be started, I suppose, 4 weeks prior to weaning. When you start weaning, then have your cows and calves where have them can see each other, gradually wean them and do a split wire system, or don't have them put away too far from them to stress them more even. That seems to works for me.
And Albert, are you taking part in the beef welfare scheme in 2025?
Yeah, I'm doing a few measures, like the meal feeding is one. You want to be feeding your calves the 4 weeks prior to weaning and then continue on after weaning. One of the other measures is vaccinating against pneumonia. Yeah, I'm also going to do the silage testing as well. That'll give you a good indication of what your feed is like as well.
So it's a really worthwhile scheme for you to be part of?
Definitely. They're measures that I'm doing anyhow, so the cost is going to be covered. So yeah. I think all Suckler farmers should be in it,
Talk to your own veterinary practitioner for a tailored vaccination protocol that will suit the individual needs of your own farm.